is a greater threat to progress than hardship. My name is Julius Mbura, also known as Julius Supercharge, and I am an advocate for disability rights. I work with an organization called Enable, and we empower blind and visually impaired to use assistive technology and get empowered to live a fulfilling life. I'm also a motivational speaker, plus a mentor. I mentor people who've lost their sight in their adulthood, people who've lost hope in life. I am a poet, spoken word artist, and a dancer. Those are my creative palettes. And I'm also a car reviewer. My passion is bigger than just saying I love cars. And in that, I review cars by touch and feel. I am also one person who takes risks in life, in the sense that I want to charter my own path and break the walls, break the glass ceiling and do things that people wouldn't think visually impaired people, oh, I am visually impaired. I am blind, I can only see light perception. I can only discern when it's lit and dark. And I have been through a journey where I have constantly been building myself and noticing, working towards my dreams and goals. And this goes deeper into the person I am.
But welcome to the blind universe, with brailled out blueprints, the impact it bears, where we defy the pitiful negativity of sympathy instead of being granted opportunities to prove ourselves, showcase our skill set, gifts, and capabilities.
Being visually impaired, of course, I lost my sight the first time when I was 10, and I've been raised by a single mom, a very strong woman, Julius Mbura. I love her to bits. And I was born in a very small, humble place called Ndeia, Ringuti. And we came to Nairobi, the sides of Starehe. And it was actually, I would say, a tough time for us because at that tender age, I was going through so much emotionally. And that one affected my mom in the long haul. But I was also part of the reason why I liberated myself. So I went through Thika Primary for the Blind, from class 2 to class 8, and it is a part of my life that I attribute my foundational strength, because my disability hasn't been the reason why I lack motivation in life. I put it as my strength, and that has made me propel in life. So high school, I went through Thika High School for the Blind, did pure Braille, and now campus is where I shifted paradigms because now I had to use soft copy. And I actually, to this date, I attribute assistive technology to my success. It is the #1 key ingredient to a person with disability to actually be at par with the rest of the society. I did law at the university level. So it was University of Nairobi, Parklands. And I would say I am privileged to have had both sides, having that time that I could see. So I enjoyed vision of 1 meter, 2 meters for almost 18 years till 2019. The condition that I have is very aggressive and it attacks the retina. It's called retinitis pigmentosa, and the umbrella of it is called maculopathy. So the little time that I got to spend my sight with is I maximized the potential and the things that I could do, that I had to adapt and actually position myself in a way that if it happens again, because I had the mental preparation, if it happens again, then I wouldn't be at a disadvantage. I wanted to put myself at a vantage point. And this one runs through my whole life. Purpose is to break the stigma that has been created over time in the society about disability. At the university level, of course, we don't have university for special needs. So I had to really work on my self-esteem and also know how to navigate not only my academic side, but also my social side. So this goes to the depths of acceptance. When you accept yourself and you put yourself in such a way that you want people to portray you as the person you are and people to know you for who you are, but not what is defined or prescribed for, the parameters that has been put in the society, they are more to make us fail than make us excel. So I had to devise ways to actually make even the university accommodate me, because University of Nairobi didn't have an inclusive system like how we know Kenyatta University. But all in all, I started using a computer to actually take down my notes. Also had to make the administration understand that for exams, I need to use soft copy exams. So that one, I commend the university for being keen on learning and adapting to actually make the academic system mainstream. So this is a TXL, Toyota Prado, but it's not the normal trim. It has been done modification to it to actually fit the rugged nature that you see. It has these aggressive LED lights at the front. I have always had this untold fear of failure, and that one gave me I'd say the foundation, the precursor of trying to work on my sense of belief and sense of self to a point where now I had to navigate through this blind universe, as I call it, with confidence, because everything boils down to how confident are you. And I believe in this theory of what you tell yourself on a daily. And if you always marinate in negativity, you'll always have the tendency of seeing yourself as inadequate. But you give yourself the psyche to actually overcome the circumstance or the situation you're in. You don't look challenges as problems. You look at them as, because life will always be pushing you to the edge, and it's how you actually try to circumnavigate through the stumbling blocks that will make you overcome. So you don't always focus on what is going wrong in life. You focus on what can I do, because if one thing is going wrong, then you find your way out. You already have a trail of what you'll do the next time things will start, crumbling down. My biggest challenge, I would put it, when I tried to get out of the comfort zone and actually vie for a position in the university level. And it was more to what people have taken as disability in the long run. And it is more of people feeling that you're blind and there's nothing more you can do. So I was vying for this position of SecGen, and it was an organization called Kenya Law Student Society, KLSS. And actually, it made me shift my perception about the politics, because I got into some kind of a situation where I even got stabbed vying for the position. So I would say leadership is something very critical. At the same time, crucially enough, we need to understand there is a balance between trying to make an impact into people's lives and trying to make a difference, and also trying to follow selfish agenda. This one is an automatic. You can tell by the gear. Yeah, but I like the touch with the low range gear because then you have the option of off-roading. My family has been a big part of my support system, and this one starts with my mom being my pillar, and she actually got to a point where I had to make her comfortable that I'm independent enough, and she made me start being the man I am. I know I am not completely and perfectly put, but I would say, you know, having her by my side and also pulling my family in, my uncle, who's like my father, and also my cousins, you know, helping me through my challenges, you know, my day-to-day maneuverability, like in town movement and all, and also trying to adapt the second time, you know, the new reality, you know. And my family will tell you that I am one person who hates pity party, you know, sympathy. And this one I have made it trickle down to my friends, the circle I have of my friends, and actually even in my relationships. As much as I'm in this category where people think disability is inability, or, you know, that is just a talk. And also when you have someone that is very intimate into your space, into your, you know, day-to-day life, knowing your every move, they can actually be controlling more than be supportive. My passion for cars goes way back when I was a small boy, you know, the dream of a small boy owning a big car. And also, I started loving cars by how the shapes, the different shapes, and what a car would give you as a feeling. This one has been something that I've worked with, and I decided not to let go even when I lost my sight the second time. It was more of even conquering my fears at campus when I decided to learn how to drive, learn how to ride a motorbike. And consumption of so much material and information surrounding cars going into depths of what the manufacturers think when they are making such a car, you know, like the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris. They have so much richness in the history and the attention to detail they put in these particular cars that I actually now expanded my knowledge about cars, and I wanted to give people a different perception of, a different dimension of what they think you appreciate cars. I wanted to give them a totally different angle of looking at cars. You know, this is when I created the channel Julius Supercharge, where I review cars by touch and feel. And it's more than just loving cars. I would say to my fellow peers, you know, differently abled, we are in this society where we are trying to prove so much that we even forget working on ourselves. I would say I'm a big advocate for disability rights, and my biggest challenge is always getting people who they have taken so much of what people think about them that they forget they make their own path, they live their own life. You know, I tell people, you decide what you want to be in life, and also you create the future that you want to go towards. So it's more of, are you really comfortable with what you do. Sometimes I tell people, even surprise yourself. Get something new, do it. If you don't like what you're doing, try change a few things to fit the skill set that you have. And if your passion is singing, go for it. Talent over skill, yeah. And over time, you'll find that incremental value. I'm a big fan of incremental value. This is stacking up. You're good at something, but you don't always settle. You want more. You're craving for being a better person, for being a better human being. For being over and above being. I embody the phrase of disability is not inability, because the things that I do, even some of my friends get mesmerized by the sheer confidence that I walk into a challenge. So it's not more of what you don't have, but what you can do with what you have. As millennials, I would say the thing that puts us down is the thought that you can be successful overnight. There's nothing as overnight success, like one day success. It's more of beating your craft and being good at it. And you don't look into money, because people are living a fast life, fast pace, and you find yourself burning money, trying to impress, especially with the invent of social media, and trying to, we say, chasing clout, because you're living a life that is not yours, but you're trying to keep up with people you don't know what they are doing, behind the scenes. I would say just do you, just be yourself. The biggest advice I give people, relax, take a breather, take a step back. Actually, there's a saying, I can pull the strings, but first know how to tie your shoe. That goes also with the Bible saying that God helps people who help themselves. So you can't always cry over, the economy, this and that. It's always uncertain, but I know what I'm putting in place to go towards the future that I want is normally in the sense that I'm looking into 5 years, 10 years to come, where I'll be at a position where my brand, Julius Supercharged, has grown so much. I'm looking into inspiring more lives, impacting more lives, and also being in an influential position that I know that I can make an impact. I know for now, I want a future, of course, where I'll be having people under me that look up to what we can achieve together, as a team, and also my career to another level that I have maybe something that I have created, like a foundation, and also the family part of it, of course. I want to have, this family that I've always dreamt of, that I have created from the ground up, The lessons that I've learned in life is a day will always give you a clean canvas to work with. And if you take things as they come, then you give yourself an opportunity to turn things in the direction you want them to be. And in that, you get to have a direction in life. And I say you actually go towards your purpose. So if you have a purpose, then you line everything up with that. So it's more of I tell people, even I'm immune to mean stares, like mean like people being mean to me, looking at me in a weird way, because you look at life with if you have a positive attitude, then everything else will fall in place, you know. What people don't know about me is I'm very deep. So if you dissect my spoken word, you understand that I architecture and mold words in a very deep way. I have a connection with meditation and just being internally quieting the conflicts internally, the inner self, you know, that voice that you normally have. You know, I'm this person that believes in reincarnation. I know that one people didn't know, and the other day I was looking into the instances of having lived multiple lives. Yeah, so I'm very deep and grounded at the same time. So yeah, my career highlight is actually finding a home at Enable where I can express the vision that I want achieved and work with a team that we know what we are working towards and what we are trying to do to make better lives of people who are behind me, to actually live a fulfilling life. You know, I've gone through all these challenges that I don't want someone like me, someone who's blind, to go through the same bumps, the same rocky, you know, path. I want to clear the way for them. I call myself the pathfinder.